Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing today? It's the day after the trick or treating and the day after we lost to the Dodgers. Oh man, I was so disappointed. But guess what? They have a game 7. Don't give up hope. We have to keep focus and send positive energy to them. They have to bring home the cup. Anyways, today I want to talk about honey. Honey, most of us know we use honey for various reasons. We're told um, if we use a metal spoon to scoop the honey, it can change the, the chemical of the honey. But this, according to scientists, you can use um, a stainless steel spoon, a plastic or wooden spoon to scoop. We should stay away from copper, um, cast iron, zinc, um, aluminum, all these kind of metal. When they come in contact with the honey, it oxidizes it and changes the chemical compound, which can be carcinogenic, which can be cancerous. So you can stay with um, your plastic spoon, your wooden spoon, or a stainless steel spoon, because stainless steel don't create any interaction. Nothing happens with stainless steel. Also, we're told if we cook with honey, it's going to change the chemical compound as well, which is true. According to Ayurvedic teaching, they said you should have never heat honey. According to scientific study, um, people do cook with honey. They glaze their meat, their vegetables. They use it in bread, um, in warm drink, and stuff like that. But it's recommended that when you're using your honey, you should never heat it above 40 degrees Celsius or 122 degrees Fahrenheit, because that's when the chemical compound starts to change. That's when the heat goes in it, um, what is it? The enzymes are destroyed, your vitamins are destroyed. And for a fact, any food for that matter, when it's over handled, over processed, or cooked on a very high heat temperature, it destroys the nutrients our body needs to survive. Um, People use honey in their baking and in food because it's a humectant. It keeps the moisture in, it keep it moist. It also brown the food, give it a nice brown color, a crisp texture, and it caramelizes, brings out a sweeter taste. But sometimes we overdo, we don't follow right procedure, so we are destroying. We go for taste, but we lose the food value. Honey um, is very good for us. It's a natural sugar. It's very acidic. This is why it can be used as a preservative. It is a very viscous substance. Viscous means thick. It's brown. Um, we can have honey from domesticated animal, which is these are farmed, and the farming process, the husbandry of farming honey is called beekeeping, and these domestic bees are stingless. So when you see people rearing honeybee and they go to extract or to harvest the honey, you will see all the bees in them, and you will think that how come they're not being affected by these bees, because they don't have sting. But the one in the wild, they have sting. They are very harmful. So you have to be very careful when you're handling bee. But we are not concerned about that. That's for another topic. we're not keeping bees or whatever. We want to use the honey. So we're talking about the honey. Honey is very good. It don't expire. Um, it can last for thousands of years if you store it properly and prevent moisture and air to get into it. Um, Honey shouldn't be given to children, to babies below the age of 1 because of botulism. Botulism is a bacteria that can cause food poisoning, sorry, and affect the baby. They don't have this defense yet. They're too small to protect themselves. They don't have this immunity against this bacteria. Whereas older kids, older people, adults, seniors, we have this. When you're using honey, you have to be careful. It is a source of energy, it's a sugar. We should use it in moderation. For a woman, 2 teaspoons a day is okay. For a man, 3 teaspoons a day. Sugar, honey can, it has good effect and it has bad effect. If you consume too much honey, you can put on a lot of weight. You can feel dizzy. You can it affects a lot of things like what sugar does. It is anti-inflammatory food, but too much is not good again. If you have arthritis, you can mix it with some cinnamon, but use it in moderation. If you have bronchitis, because it's anti-inflammatory and because it's a humectant, when you consume a little bit of honey with lemon, it clears the airways and it produces moisture, saliva, and it moistens your tracks, and you can breathe and you can survive. There's so much we can do, honey can do for us. It is good for regulating our heart function, lower blood pressure. What it does, it helps the lower LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, and increase the production of HDL, which is the good cholesterol. Our body needs cholesterol. Cholesterol is fat. Our brain is made up of fat. But because we're overindulged with everything, human being, we eat like we're so glutton. We want everything more and more and more instead of eating in moderation, and this is what is killing us. So yeah, honey is very good for us. It has a lot of good properties. But with everything, it has pros and cons. So be careful. Another thing, when we are buying honey, merchants, like we buy commercial grade honey, some people want to make a lot of profits. So what they do, they make a syrup, a simple syrup. They caramelize it, give it this brown color, and then mix a little bit of cornstarch to stabilize it. Maybe they will add a little bit of honey to give the flavor, but it's hard to detect if you don't know. If you want to know if your honey is pure, you put a little bit of honey in a container, put some water to cover it, shake it around, swirl it around, and if it looks like honeycomb, you know that you have pure honey. But if it dissolves in the water, you know you've been conned. So there's so much to talk about honey. Honey is a big subject, and yeah. So we are told we should use a lot of honey, but be careful. Honey is good in moderation. Never overcook it. Don't overheat it because you're changing the compound. You're breaking up the hydrogen bond, which is making carcinogenic. Raw honey, they said, is good for you, but raw honey can be very dangerous for you as well because remember, this is extracted from a honeycomb, which is regurgitation of the food, the pollen that the bee eats, and it brings it out, deposited in the honeycomb. This is where they put the babies, like they hatch the eggs and whatever. So when extraction is happening, we have foreign matters like the decomposition of the larvae and whatever. So everything is not taken away. So the bacteria is there, other foreign bodies are there. So we have to be careful unless we live in an environment where we have immunity to certain things. But because we are more cultured being, we don't have immunity for a lot of stuff. So it would be best if we have pasteurized honey. Um, so it's up to the individual, whatever you like. But honey is a good thing and it can be a bad thing. So you have to look at the way you're consuming honey, um, how you process, how you are extracting, how you're storing, and stuff like that. So yeah, you can use honey. They said honey is good also for your hair. What it does, it extract the moisture from the atmosphere, and it keeps it. It's a moisturizer. It moisturizes your hair. It's good for your skin. If you have a sore or a wound, whatever, honey is also good for that. Oh, and honey is very good if you don't destroy it by heat. It has a significant amount of vitamin B2, B5, and an important vitamin, which is vitamin K. Vitamin K is your coagulating vitamin that you need. And what is coagulation is clotting. So a lot of people, if they don't have sufficient amount of vitamin K in their system, if they have a cut or a wound, they can bleed out because they don't have this coagulant, this vitamin K, to clot the blood. So, yeah, so we can have some honey for that as well. So, with that being said, maybe we can continue on this topic on honey. Honey is a very interesting compound, food, whatever. You can go on and on and on and on about honey. So, I hope you learned something today. Like I'm learning every day. And with this, you can make better choices as to how you use honey and enjoy. And you'll have a sweet and wonderful day. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.